Hey guys, Andy Gideon here. This what appears to be pile of scrap paper on top of my workbench are the plans and templates for a Don Mudeman design flying machine. For those of you that have been in the hobby for a while, probably have heard either that name before, Don Mudeman, or of the flying machine. It was a very popular small 40 size sport plane that is capable of more extreme aerobatics than probably any airplane designed to this day. You see in the manual that comes with it when you buy the plans from him, shows him hand launching it at Show Center at the Byron Originals Striking Back show. Quick shot of the specs. Not a very big airplane, and designed back in 1983. So a pretty old design. Definitely one of the sharpest looking sport planes I've ever had and flown. And the last one that I built, I did not take very good caution in folding up all my templates with the plans and kind of wadded them all up. So that, shame on my dumbass for that. But since I've had a few questions in the past about scratch building and so forth, I figured I guess I should start that a little bit different. I was going through some old pictures and some old videos. I've built 4 of these airplanes. Well, I guess 3.5. The first one I built when I was in high school, I literally flew the snot out of it, went through 3 covering jobs, and eventually just ended up retiring it and building a new one. The new one only lasted, it's been a few years, only lasted a couple flights. Then I had a malfunction of a servo or a battery or something along those lines. Then I started building a third, and a guy I used to fly with took some interest in it and bought it from me, partially built. Then I ended up building my third one in, when would that have been? 2009, maybe? Yeah, right about 2009, 2010. And flew it for a while. Had some terrible luck with engines. I had 2 brand new OS 46s that didn't run right. Actually, one of them seized up during the break-in procedure, believe it or not. And I kind of got frustrated. I couldn't get a good, clean running engine for the airplane. Not sure why, but at that time I was getting more and more exclusively into giant scale and into warbirds instead of aerobatics, and ended up selling that airplane when I was between jobs. Didn't really need to sell it, but selling that one airplane basically funded all of my trips for flying events while I was between jobs. So kind of a regretful decision, because it was probably one of the most beautiful airplanes I've ever built. So this morning I was online going through some old videos and ended up coming across a flying machine video, and I started thinking, I'd really like to have another one. So I'm trying to get myself motivated to build it. It's a very easy airplane to build, of course, as you can see here. It's all from scratch. But when you buy a set of plans from Don, you go to his website, which is right here. He has plans available for a 40 and a 60 size. I recommend the 40 size because at that size it's capable of more of the extreme aerobatics, where the 60 size version will still do those aerobatics, just a little bit less, a little bit slower momentum, if you know what I'm talking about. When you take an airplane and size it up, everything happens at a slightly slower pace. But if you go onto a Google search or go onto YouTube and type in that right there, Don Muddleman's flying machine, you'll come across some great videos. Don is without a doubt one of my heroes in this hobby. Watching him fly his routine since I was a kid was just a real treat. And especially because he's performing these types of air shows. You know, I mean, back in the day, flying at Byron Originals, Top Gun, flying a little 40 size airplane and putting on one hell of a show. I mean, that's cool. But my dad built one in 1990, I believe. And another guy in the club back then, Gordy Van Dalen, him and my dad were really close friends back then, good flying buddies. And they went to Ida Grove for the Byron Original show and saw Don fly this airplane. And they both decided right then they had to have one. So they both built them. Then, of course, I built my first one in high school. It's just a great airplane. It's kind of hard to see it, but there's really not a whole lot to it. It's pretty simple build. Of course, when you buy the new set of plans, the first one that I built was from a set of plans from the original kit. This plane was kitted for a while by, I believe, Progressive Miniature Aircraft or something like that. It was Progressive something, but they kitted it for a while. Made it with a foam wing instead of a build-up wing, and that was the version that my dad built his from. He built his from the set of plans from that kit. So basically, instead of having the rib layout and everything like you have here, it just showed a giant foam wing. So I built my first one from that same set of plans that my dad built his from almost 30 years ago. So I had to we both kind of designed our own wings. But now, as I said, when you buy these set of plans from Don, I believe they're $24.99 for the plans for the 40 size. The 60 size, I think, are only $26 or $28. So real reasonably priced. The plans come with all the templates that you would need to build the airplane from the plans. But Don includes a separate piece, you can see kind of the jagged cut line on the end of my plans, that comes with all these templates. Fuselage sides, all your bulkheads, rib platforms, fin and rudder, stabilizer, elevator, everything. As you can see from the turtle deck and canopy design, it's got a real unique shape. It's just an absolutely beautiful airplane. So when you buy the new set of plans, you get the templates for all this. So you cut out all the templates. It uses all common sizes, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, very common sizes. Nothing out of the norm. Of course, 3/8 balsa for your blocks. They're going to have to be shaped. Really, really basic stuff. So I figure what I'll do is, I'm not guaranteeing at this point that I'm going to build this airplane. I'm just thinking about it right now. I have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do to straighten out all my templates here, because they kind of got deformed. But I'm going to go through my several of those boxes down there have a wide variety of wood inside. So I'm going to see how much wood I have, if I can build any of the parts right now. Because once I get started, I'll definitely finish the airplane, but it's motivating myself to get started is kind of the trick these days. Especially when I've been building, jets and so forth. It's kind of difficult to get motivated to build a 40 size sport plane. But this one is definitely worth it. Even if whoever's watching this video has no interest in building one, I still recommend going online and watching the videos of Don flying his. It's amazing. And once you watch the videos, you may just want to build one for yourself. So stay tuned. We might start building one.